Okay. So just a few housekeeping notes as we get started. Again, feel free to unmute yourselves. I have muted you all. The link in the chat is for, and actually I'll put it in there again because Amy probably did not get it. If I put the link in there prior to anybody joining, they will not see it. So you have to repost it if you want somebody who has joined later to see it. So hopefully everybody sees that. I did send it in the email that had the Zoom link too, so you might have already gotten it. Can you guys, you can just show me thumbs up if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Perfect. So this is lesson recording tools for remote and blended learning. Now, some of these I am very familiar with, some not so much. Like QuickTime, I've used this much. So I will give you as much information as I can, but I do have multiple YouTube videos as well for each thing. So we're gonna be talking about Zoom, Google Meet, Screencastify, and then QuickTime. So there's 4 that I know of. I'm sure there's others, but these are kind of the top ones that have been recommended at this time. All right, so let's talk about Zoom. Zoom is probably one of the most popular. I had never honestly even heard about it before all of this and we were staying home. So I had never even heard about it. It just kind of blew up. I actually do a lot of Zumba classes virtually through Zoom. A lot of Zumba instructors I know offer it. There's a lot of other, I belong to TrueFit in Perrysburg, and they do Zoom workouts. So there's a lot of virtual workouts obviously going on right now. But this is Zoom, and it's a little difficult to show some of these things because we are currently in a Zoom. So I will try my best. I did screenshots and things like that so you can see what I'm talking about. One of the most important aspects of Zoom is when you are in Zoom, you can go up to, it's when you're starting one, you've created a meeting and you're in one. And at the top left, it says zoom.us. And then here is where all of these different settings are. And I'm not going to go through all of those because the main one that we're concerned about is this one that says recording. So that is what we want to make sure we've got all of our settings correct in Zoom to record. So we've got recording, and on this side, we have a whole bunch of other options that some we don't even need to worry about. But you can choose a location to save the recording to after the meeting ends. So like right now, it's recording, but I won't actually get the recording until I hit leave meeting, and then the meeting is officially done. Then what happens is it creates a video, and it's actually in an MP4 format, which is just a file type for videos. I choose to have them saved to my desktop, but that is not the automatic spot where it goes. It normally goes to, there's like a Zoom application on your computer, and then there's like a folder in there, and you kind of have to hunt for it. I don't like that because if I'm going to make a video, I want to grab it really easy. So what I do right here where it says store my recordings at, you just hit open and I choose my desktop. So then that makes it really easy. And you can see right here has my name, and then you can see desktop, and then it creates a folder called Zoom recordings on your desktop. And then anytime you record, whether it's a meeting that you're in or just a video that you created for a lesson, when you stop the recording, when you end the meeting, it will all go right in there. Okay. I don't really think any of these other options really, I mean, you can see what I have. You can do where it says place video next to the shared screen in the recording. All that means is like if I want my kids to see like me in a video while I'm teaching and what they're seeing on the screen, then I will check this box. But if you don't want your video of yourself and you just want your screen, you leave that unchecked. Okay, so that's totally up to you, totally optional. And other than that, I don't think you really need to worry about any of those other ones. I do have a video over here that goes specifically how to record a meeting in Zoom. And when we say record a meeting, they just mean any type of video thing in Zoom is called a meeting. But you could be actually in a meeting, or you could just be recording a lesson. So I will leave that there for you to watch later. Okay. So let's go into a little more detail here. So when we are recording a lesson, there might be multiple things that we want to do. So sharing your screen is obviously one of the biggest things, and I'm going to actually go through all 4 of these programs and talk about how to share your screen and your DocCam if you want that option. So what you're going to do in Zoom, there is, let me see if I can see it here. So there's a green button that says share screen. Most likely it's at the bottom of your Zoom program right now. So if you click share screen, this box is going to come up. It's always going to default to the basic. And so in basic, you have your desktop. Now I have 2 desktops. So if you have a monitor plugged into your computer, you're going to see 2. So like I have desktop 1, and then you can see I have Google Chrome lesson recording, like I have 2 here. So you would choose which one you would want to share. Okay. You also have a whiteboard option, which I will talk about later. It's basically just like kind of like a digital smartboard that you can write on and things like that. You can actually share your iPhone or iPad via AirPlay. So I could take my phone, if I had a picture of like something for science, maybe I took a picture and I just wanted to show them real quick. You can, and I tried it, it works. You can actually, you'll just do the screen mirroring. You'll just click screen mirroring, and then when you click that, it will pop up as Zoom as an option. So like you would just tap on Zoom for screen mirroring, and you would use that for your phone or your iPad. So you can share that with your students if you want to. And then iPhone or iPad via cable. So you can also just plug it into your computer and display it that way as well. So those are all under the basic option. So I usually, almost always, just choose my desktop and I just record my whole screen is what I typically do. If you're sharing a video, so I did a mystery science with my class in a Zoom meeting. So this was live, this was not recorded. And I needed to share my sound on my computer, because if I just play the video and I have like my microphone set, they can kind of hear it, but not great. So if I go to, there's an option that says more, and that has, for me right now, that has like chat, breakout rooms, all of that stuff, because I'm running the meeting. There's an option that says share computer sound. And so I want that turned on if I want to show them a video. Okay, if I do that, it's just like you literally watching a video on your computer. It will have very clear sound, but you must say share computer sound. So then at whatever you're playing on your computer, they will hear. And that actually has worked really well. We've done a couple like read alouds that way, where I've played a read aloud on YouTube of a book and they can hear it perfectly. So that will work. let's see, do you see the same in the bottom left of the basic? Oh yeah, yep, you can click share computer sound right there too. That's fine too, yep. So you can, like when you're going to share it and you're getting ready and you're clicking on it, you can also just click it right here. But if you want to leave that and then just share your set, it doesn't really matter when you click it. So either way. Okay. If you want to use the whiteboard, you can do that to share a board that you can write on and teach lessons with. However, I don't know about you, I am not good at writing with a mouse on a whiteboard. Like I am just, it looks horrible. So I would not want to subject my students to my horrible writing with my mouse. So if you had though, if you had an iPad Pro that has a pencil, then that would be a really good feature for you. So depending on what tools you have available to you, if you had something like an Apple Pencil, then the whiteboard might be something that you would want to use. I typically just create Google Slides and share those. I don't try to write on there, but like if you're trying to teach math, I mean, you might want to use that feature. So it's totally up to you. But just know that that option is there. I did have to turn it on, and I will talk about that shortly, how I did that. Okay. So to make sure that the whiteboard is on, when you go into zoom.us, this is where I had to get my whiteboard. My whiteboard was not even showing for me as an option. So you have to make sure annotation setting is on. So you go to the Zoom website, you log in with Google, you have to navigate to, it says personal on the left, and then click on your settings, and then in meeting basic, which is this tab where I'm at, and then you have to click annotation on and whiteboard on to activate these settings, okay? So I'm actually going to navigate to zoom.us to show you that. And all those steps are on my slide. So don't worry, you don't have to memorize those steps. So I go to zoom.us and I just click sign in, and you're gonna sign in with Google. So it's at the bottom, so don't log in this way. You're just gonna go sign in with Google. Sign in with Google is literally my most favorite thing. I love when a website I want to use with the kids says sign in with Google. I'm like, yes, just sign in with Google, especially for fourth graders. It makes my life so easy. So you can see here, this is like my upcoming meetings. Obviously I have a lot. But over here on the left is what I was talking about. So personal settings. And this is where a ton of your settings are going to be. So if you have some time later, I would go on to zoom.us and just look at the settings. And kind of, it tells you, if you just read the stuff, it tells you what each of the things are. But what I did was in meeting basic, right there, and it kind of scrolls down to it. So this is where you've got all of these options. You've got chat. You can turn the chat totally off if you want to also. Obviously it doesn't matter if you're just recording a video for yourself. There are some options if you keep scrolling. This is screen sharing is where we've got that. But then under screen sharing, you've got annotation and whiteboard. So this is the one, obviously, if you have older students, I'm not 100% sure about this setting. Because what it says is allow participants to use annotation tools to add information to shared screens. I don't want high schoolers or junior high students adding drawings to my whiteboard, because you know what's going to happen there. So we can only imagine what kinds of things they're going to come up with. So I'm not 100% sure about that, but the whiteboard for me did not even show up until I selected that on. So just play with that if you like that feature. If not, you can turn that off. So, but obviously there's lots of options. So obviously you guys figure out what works for you, but that is where that whiteboard tool is located. You can, one of my favorite parts is you can share your doc cam. And this is amazing because you actually, it's under advanced. There is a way, if you click on basic, you can see it, but my preferred method is to click on advanced, and then it says content from second camera. And I like that method better. You just click share screen, but instead of basic, click advanced, and then click on content from second camera. Obviously make sure your doc cam is on, because I didn't, and I was like, well, why can't I see it? So you got to make sure your doc cam is on, and then it will show it. You should immediately see the image that's under your camera. The thing I love about using this method is you can switch between the doc cam and like your video. Really easy. It will actually have this button at the top of the video that says switch camera. All you do is click that, and it goes between the doc cam and you. So it's really awesome. I love that because it's so fast. You know, there's no time between like clicking on your different cameras. So that is very, very cool. There's a couple other, I'm not going to go into detail on these whiteboard options, but there are a couple other options for whiteboards that are not within Zoom, and they actually are a little bit cooler. My favorite one is Jamboard, which I got Jason to enable for all of us. So now it's available. It's a Google product. They do have canvas.apps.chrome, which is through Google Chrome. It's just a website based one. It's okay. It's really for drawing, I think, more so than presenting. But Jamboard is awesome because if you look at this picture, you can actually create sticky notes and add pictures and do all kinds of cool things. And you can collaborate. Like, so you could share that Jamboard with your students, and like in a Zoom even, you could add things. Like you could say, let's brainstorm, you know, all the different types of biotic and abiotic factors. That's a topic that my fourth grader is doing right now. So you could go on the Jamboard and they could all add a sticky note and like sort it. Is it biotic? Is it abiotic? But you could like do it live. So that's very, very cool to me. I like Jamboard. I honestly have not used it very much because it was not enabled for us, but now it is. So I love Jamboard. Both of those options, the whiteboards can be saved. Jamboard literally works just like any other Google product. You share it, it's in your drive. It works like every other Google product. But again, Jamboard, you can use sticky notes, and Canvas seems more for drawing, like with an iPad and an Apple Pencil. So again, my personal favorite is the Jamboard option. So if you have not explored that, I would explore Jamboard if you want to. Okay, so now what do? We've recorded, whether we use a doc cam, we've shared our screen, all of that. Now what do? Okay, when you stop your meeting, you'll say leave meeting, and you can also, if you don't want to totally leave your meeting, you can click stop recording, and then you can start a new recording within the same meeting. And when you leave the meeting, it'll make 2 videos or 3 videos or however many you wanted. So you could like stay in the same meeting, record like your lessons for the week if you wanted, and then it would create a separate video for each one. You just have to stop it and start a new recording each time. So again, I have those go to my desktop. So what you will get is you will get a .mp4 file, which is just a type of video file. You can do a couple things. You could simply drag this to Google Drive. So what I do, I just make sure I could see my file on one side and my Google Drive on the other, and you just drag it right into the folder for Google Drive. Or you can upload the video to YouTube. So if you have a YouTube channel, you just go to YouTube and click upload video, and then a box will come up and it will ask you to select your video, and you just find it. That's why I like this stuff on my desktop, so then I can find it really easy. What I would recommend though, before you share, is I would rename your file, because the file that you're going to get will have like a date stamp or something like that, and it won't be, you won't know what the content is, if that makes sense. So I would rename your video like lesson 5 abiotic factors, or what, you know, whatever your topic is, just so you can find which video you want. I did not provide information, and I'm not going to talk about that today, but you do need to set up a YouTube channel before you can upload. So if you do not currently have a YouTube channel, you have to go to YouTube and you have to create it. I can certainly help you with that if you want to do that, but that's not the focus of today's tutorial. So just know that you have to do that before you upload to YouTube. Okay. Okay. So any questions about Zoom specifically? Chantel, no, it does not need to be a certain DocCam. Whatever DocCam you have, it will show the name of it when you go to choose it. Let's see, is there any advantage to making Zoom recordings into YouTube over just putting in Drive? No. The only thing I have run into personally was normally YouTube is blocked for Fairfield, Fort Miami, and Wayne Trail. So normally I honestly don't use that option because my kids will never be able to watch them except from home. But Jason has completely unblocked YouTube for all the schools at this time. So for me, that actually worked better, because when you put them in Drive, you have to, even when they're in Google Classroom, like you have to make sure the sharing settings are so that everybody can view it, and you have to make sure all that is good to go before you share it out. So I just have found YouTube is easier. Terry said at the high school, YouTube is open. Yep. And YouTube will count how many kids watch the video. Yeah, I like that too, because you literally will see at the bottom of your video. I actually make the videos unlisted, so they're not public. And so if it's unlisted, you know, only the people you gave that link to are watching it. So you can tell like how many kids have watched it and things like that. But yeah, I actually prefer that, and I kind of hope that they leave YouTube unblocked. It's just been really nice, and I know some of you guys are already used to that, but it was so nice. Like with YouTube unblocked, you can actually, in a Google form, you can just put your YouTube video in there. You can't do it any other way. So a Google form won't accept any other video. So like if I wanted to create a video of me doing a read aloud for one of like our interactive read alouds, I could record myself doing that and pop that YouTube video in the Google form and then ask my questions below. And then the kids can answer the questions about the story right in one place. So there are definite benefits to doing YouTube video instead, but I do like to have my videos saved and organized on my Google Drive anyway, just in case, so that I have like a backup of them. So it looks like too, Laura said that the tech department has shown how to create a YouTube channel within the first few days, and it's linked through, is it Michelle Schaefer's tech file? Yeah. So there's some information there on how to create a YouTube channel. But clearly, if you go to YouTube and you search it, you'll find all kinds of videos on it. Any other questions specifically about Zoom before I move on to the next one?
Hey, Stacy.
Yeah.
James does something kind of cool. He has breakout sessions in Zoom.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't know if anybody's interested in that or not.
Yeah. That you would have to do live with your class, so it wouldn't be recording. But if you go to the more, there's actually an option that says breakout rooms. And if I go to click on breakout rooms, it'll say, like right now, it says assign, I have 10 participants. I tell it how many rooms do I want to make. So if I make 4 rooms right now, it's telling me it's going to put 2 to 3 kids or participants in a room. You can do it automatically or you can do it manually. So like if I knew I wanted, let's say I'm doing a whole class thing and I want to break the kids into levels, like reading group levels. So maybe I want this group over here talking about this group talking about this, or even topics. I want you guys to talk about this. I want you guys to talk about this. I can literally hit this breakout room, and then you just click create breakout rooms. And what would happen is we would leave this big full group. You would go into your small group, and as the host, I can call you back to me whenever I want to. So I can say end breakout rooms, and it is pretty cool. I personally have not used it yet. But it definitely has, especially if we continue this for the future, it definitely has some benefits to being used if we have to continue teaching this way. So yeah, thanks, Gail. How do you monitor the kids in the breakout rooms? I think that you just have to hop from room to room. I don't think you can, I don't know. I don't know if you can see them all at once. I doubt it. Do you know, Gail?
I think he told me he can't see them in there at all.
Oh, okay.
Because when I'm on there with him, I'm in a room, and he always asks me like,
Yeah.
"What are they doing in the room?"
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I think you can like pop from room to room, but yeah, you can't
When that was
monitor
first
them.
introduced to us, I was in another meeting with it, and they showed it definitely for older kids, like high school and stuff
Yes.
like that,
Yeah.
because there is no monitoring when you send, because they talked about how a teacher, if you're in a whole group setting and somebody needs to be pulled out, so you can check in with
Yeah.
them and come back, but you are leaving the little kids unto
Right.
themselves.
Yes. And who knows what will ensue while you're gone. So, yeah. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next thing. If you think of any other questions, just throw them in the chat. Google Meet. So honestly, for my class meetings, what I've been doing, I use Zoom for my live. And I used Google Meet once. I did find, for me in particular, the sound that I could hear of the kids, I was able to hear them much better in a Google Meet. I don't know why, but that's just how it worked. There are multiple ways now. Google obviously is getting on this whole train of digital learning, so they're adding all kinds of awesome features, but there's multiple ways to join a meet. There is now, I don't know if you noticed, but on your email screen now at the bottom left, you can join a meet. You can create a meet right from your email page. So that's new. That I don't know, maybe 2 days ago, I saw that pop in there. And then about 2 weeks ago, they added Meet within Google Classroom, which is how I had my kids join, and it was so nice. It was really easy. So Meet is actually at the top of the classwork page. It just says Meet next to the Google Calendar, and on the stream page, like where it has the title of your class, it says under your class code, it has Meet link, and they can literally just click that to join. Now that Meet link stays the same. Like a Zoom, if you wanted to change it every time, you could. This link does not change. However, this link, I don't know how they did it, but your kids in the Google Classroom are the only people who can get into that Google Meet, which is kind of nice. It's locked down for you. However, Google's magic did that, I don't know, but that's what you can do there. So you can start a meeting without any kids or by yourself. So any of these ways you can start a meet. You can also go to meet.google.com and start a meet, but it's just like Zoom. You just start that meeting and then you record it a couple of ways. I will tell you, Google Meet to me is a little more clunky than Zoom. Like, I feel like I had to do more clicks to get on there. However, it's still really good. I did put a video here from Eric Kurtz, and if you don't follow him, he's awesome. And he is like the Google king, and he here's his Twitter. He posts a lot of different things on Twitter. And his website. His website actually has a lot of really good webinars and things that you can do, like for Blue Sheet. So I recommend doing that. But I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail of recording because he literally does do that in this video. What I wanted to tell you are just some of the tips and tricks that I have found with doing that. So basically, once you're in there, you've got your video going, and you just start that video with yourself. There are 3 dots in the bottom right-hand corner, and I'll kind of show you in a second what that looks like. It'll show a little red box at the top like this. That's how you know you're recording. A screen will pop up reminding you to get consent from all participants. So that's different from Zoom. You just have to acknowledge this box before you begin recording. So there's 3 dots. You say record meeting, and when you're done, you do the exact same thing. You click the 3 dots and you say stop recording. What it does is it creates this file. This is what I just did a sample one yesterday. This is what it looks like. It's kind of crazy file name, but it saves it right to your Google Drive. Okay, so that's one thing that Zoom doesn't do. It automatically saves it to your Google Drive. You will need to rename that though. I didn't even know how to find that thing in my Google Drive. Before you share that, obviously for a lesson for yourself, I would do that as well. In Google Classroom, Laura asked, how are the kids notified? It is not an announcement. It literally, let me go over here. In Google Classroom, it's literally like at the top of classwork, it's just here. So I just tell them, like, go to your classwork page and click meet so that they know. And then same thing on the stream page, it's right here. So I didn't put it as an announcement. I just told them in one of our Zoom meetings, because we wanted to try it one day, I just said, just go up to classwork and click meet. And so you can do this to start, like if let me just do it real quick for you. So if I click meet, this is what you guys will see. And it'll show like your camera starting and all that good stuff. And then you can click join now. And I'm going to try to mute it. Hopefully there'll be no feedback sound. I can't guarantee. It's trying to load. My computer's probably like, why are you doing so much video? But this is kind of what it looks like. And you can turn, the things are so easy. I'm actually going to turn my camera off too. These settings are so easy. They literally have to click the microphone to mute themselves and unmute themselves. But this is where you would click the 3 dots to record the meeting. And then present now, that is how you share your screen. You just click present now. I always just say, every time I'm recording a lesson, I always just say my entire screen, because if you limit yourself and then you want to move away from that, they won't see it. So I always just say my entire screen. And then you'll see here, like I could share our little video here, and it just pops up. Right now it's slow because I'm doing a Zoom meeting and I'm trying to do Google. Normally it's not quite that slow, but now I'm presenting to everyone. There, you'll see up here at the top, to me, it's just a little tricky to see this when I'm in here. So there's a chat. If you're doing this live, there is a chat just like we have here. The one thing with, if you're doing this with kids, you cannot mute them all like you can in Zoom, which if you have younger kids, that can be troublesome if they're very noisy. So I can kind of go back and forth between my presentation. So like, here's my presentation, and then I can quickly go back to me. So I can go between those. You can do your doc cam, same thing here. You just choose that in there as an option. And then you just tell it to stop recording. I just have found it like a little more, like I said, a little more clunky and not quite as easy as Zoom when I'm going through there. All right, let me see if I can. I'm gonna close out of that because it is just not liking my computer. It's super slow. So let me see if I can get out of that. There we go. And I'm gonna go back over here. Oh, see, I crashed my computer. One moment. Good question, Laura. Laura said, do elementary kids have the option to use that Meet with each other without you? No. They cannot start a Meet. If they click that Meet link and you are not in it, it will tell them this meeting is not, it's closed. It will tell them that it's not available. It actually looks like an error message. So once you join, then kids can get on. And then as soon as you end the meeting, like they're booted out. So they can't like hang out afterwards in there. So let me just get back to my stuff here. See my computer, you can tell I'm using a MacBook Air. So obviously it couldn't handle all of the video and all of that good stuff. So let me go back. One moment. If that ever happens to you guys, I don't know if you know this trick. At the top right, there's 3 little dots and you can go to history and there's like recently closed. And then if I just click on my tabs that I had open, it reopens those back up. So then I don't have to like go find all those again. Or if I go to history and like I can have, I have my iPad and my iPhone linked as well. So I can like if I'm looking up something on my phone, I can click it on my computer and then like look at it online too. So those are really cool. And like my 11 tabs, those are my usual tabs that I have open. If I wanted to just reopen those all, I could just click that. So this little tip. Okay. So Google Meet. Again, sharing your screen, you just click present now. You can choose between a bunch of options. Like I said, I always choose my entire screen because I want to be able to pop between things. If you need to switch between the video of yourself and then a shared screen or your dot cam. This is where, to me, it takes a minute. It's not quite as fancy as Zoom with just clicking that button. You do have to go down to the 3 dots, click on settings, then you're going to click video, and you just choose, like my dot cam is called IPVO. So I just click on the IPVO, and then it will switch my video. Instead from me, it'll go to the dot cam. And I can go back and forth. I can go back to, like, the FaceTime HD camera is my computer. So I can go back between those if I want to. But if you wanted, you could certainly do all of this before you record. So like if you just wanted to do something with your dot cam, set it all up, get your dot cam video going, and then hit record and then start teaching your lesson. So you don't have to like waste the video with fumbling through all that. So that is basically how you share that screen. Any other questions about Google Meet? Nice thing is it is Google, so like I said, it saves all your videos right to your drive. So that is helpful as well. And with the new link in Google Classroom, it's very easy to get to. So, all right, I'm gonna keep going because we're way running out of time. So Screencastify, this is my favorite just because I know how to use it the best. So I do like Zoom's options and ease of stuff, but it's probably only because I've been using it with my students. But Screencastify is actually what I use. I record the morning announcements with it right now. I've done all of my lesson recordings with Screencastify. That's the only thing that I've used. There is a little bit to the initial setup. I don't know if anybody has this or not, but once you, I have a link here to this arrow. You can click on that arrow, that's their logo, to go to the Chrome Web Store, and you do have to add it. You have to be using Google Chrome to be able to use this. But then it shows up as this little icon. So this their little logo, it's actually an extension. And then what will happen when you go to start your recording, I prep everything on my screen first. So like I'll get, if I have slides or whatever, like I will have that, I will have my dot cam plugged in. I just get all that ready to go. Sometimes I'll do like a word study lesson and I will have my stuff ready. Like my first, usually it's like, okay, let's look at these words. What do we notice? I will have them written out on my board and under the camera, ready to go before I begin recording. So just have ready whatever you want. And then once you click it, you'll see this screen. Now, of course, there's many different options. You can have the browser tab, that's just the one tab showing. You can have the whole desktop, or you can just have you, and you can just record a video of yourself talking and teaching a lesson. I always choose the desktop. Again, I just choose the whole screen and then I just share whatever parts I want. You can embed a webcam, so you can have like a little square of yourself on there. You can resize it, you can move it around and have it wherever you want it on the screen. So that's totally up to you. Okay, so again, browser tab is only a specific tab. So if you navigate away from that tab, let's say you have Google Classroom showing, and then you want to show them something else and you go to the other tab, they are still going to see Google Classroom even though you're no longer on that. So I don't like that option because I might decide in the middle of a thing I want to show them something else. Desktop is your whole desktop. You can navigate between tabs, and like I said, this is what I prefer to choose. And then webcam only, and that will only show you or the dot cam. So if you have your dot cam, when I do my word study lessons, sometimes I choose that option and just show my dot cam. And again, you can embed the webcam option so you can show a video on the screenshot whenever you want to. I do have another YouTube video here that is really, really good, showing how to record with Screencastify. So just know that that is there. Again, the initial setup of Screencastify is a little bit, you have to sign in with Google. All of the videos automatically save to a folder called Screencastify. So it sets it up for you. It creates that folder and it just puts all your recordings in there. And then this video will show you how to like initially set it up. So I'm not going to go into that right now, but if you watch that video, it'll show you how to set it up and like log it so that it automatically saves them to Google Drive. This talks about, this specific video shows you how to share to Google Classroom. They actually have it integrated in. I'll show you that in a second. You can, when you're done recording, you can either share your video to Classroom, you can view it in Google Drive, or you can upload it to YouTube. So again, just like Zoom. Usually the 3 elementaries, like I said, have YouTube blocked. So that's not always an option for us, but right now it is. So that's what I've been doing. So normally we have to go through Google Classroom to share the videos with our students. So let me go back one, and I'm actually gonna show you my Screencastify. So there's a fast way to get to your Screencastify videos. If you click on the Screencastify icon, then you will get the little pop-up box here. And then there's an option that says My Recordings. So I'm gonna try to go there and show you what the folder looks like. You can obviously rename the files. Of course, it's going to, I'm really working my computer today. Okay, My Recordings. And I have on the next slide, Screencastify is free right now. Normally it is a whopping $29 for the whole year. So, you know, I just pay for it. I pay for the $29 anyway, because I record so much with it. Like this is all my recording. So obviously I use it a lot. But let me just let me open this up for you. So this is what you'll see once you're done recording. It automatically opens this page. And so over here on the right, here's Google Drive. Let me pause this so it's not running video. You can copy a shareable link. So I could share that link out. That link is only to my Drive file. It's not to YouTube. But down here, they have added these options, and this is why I love this so much. I literally click Publish to YouTube. Within 10 seconds, I click Copy Link, and then I put it in Google Classroom. I love that. Like, it's so fast. And the reason, like I said, I like YouTube better than sharing it from my Drive is just that every kid is able to click on the YouTube video and it works. Sometimes when I do like share to Classroom, it's shared through Drive. Maybe Google Drive is having a weird day, or it's still processing and then they have to click download. And there's just a slew of possible errors that they could have that when I'm not with them in person, I can't really fix it for them. So I like Publish to YouTube. You can also download this video if you want to as well for whatever purpose. So I just like all these easy options that they have, because it literally, I create it. What I do then, I actually organize them on my Drive. I take them out of the Screencastify folder. You don't have to do that. That's just how I do it. But then I just click Publish to YouTube and it's done. So I like that a lot. Have I tried to show a slides presentation? Yes. So what I do, like here, you can use the arrow keys like this, or you can use the space bar as well. That will push it forward, or you can click with your mouse just somewhere on the on the slides and it should go. So maybe try one of those 3 things. That might work. But again, if you want to see specifically how to get it to share to Google Classroom, this video goes over that. And I included on this slide, this is the code to get the free version with the upgraded features. So free version, you can only do up to 5 minutes in video length. If you pay for the unlimited, then you can do as much recording as you want to. So that's why I personally, this is the educators discount. It's normally like $49, but for educators it's $29. But right now, if you put in this cast_COVID code, you will get this a year for free. So I would do that if I were you. I really like it. This video on the right shows you how to add that coupon code. So you can go do that, and then you just enter your payment info. You don't even have to enter a credit card or anything. Like when you put in that code, it'll say like your total is $0, and then you just click to order. So you get it right away. It's awesome.
I have a quick question for you.
Yeah, sure.
I've tried to edit my Screencastify because I end up having a really clunky beginning by the
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
and I can never do it right. I end up like chopping it all. I'm not sure. So could you?
Yeah, let me see. I don't do that very often. Like I said, I record them so much that I'm pretty good with like making sure I've got like everything set.
Or even a video, somebody that has good Screencastify how to video.
Yeah. Well, they so this is like you can click edit. So all I did was just click open in editor, and you can edit your videos here. So basically, I don't know if you can see this, like there's like a white line when I'm dragging across. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it goes to that certain point in the video. So like if I wanted to click here, I just clicked and I added like a point at which I want to do something with it. I could cut, I could crop, so I can add text. I don't know what that is. I've not tried that option. That's kind of cool. But I can cut, and if I cut, this is like 2 separate, and then like if I, like Krista, if this was your beginning that you wanted to get rid of, I think you just click on that and you just trash it. Like you would hit the delete. You know what I mean? And then you could get rid of your beginning. Or you could get rid of the end or whatever you want. So I think you can, and then if you mess up, you just click undo. Like if I didn't want to do that, I would just undo. So I think that's basically all you can do with this editor. Oh, this does have add a clip. So what that would be is if you created 2 separate videos and then you want to put them together in one, you could have one and then add a clip, pull in your second video, and then mesh them together, if that makes sense. Does that help at all, Krista?
Yeah, and it's not, that's how I did it, but it ended up getting like really fragmented.
Oh.
So I will have to maybe find some videos out there.
Yeah, I just haven't done that much. But I'll look on YouTube too, and if I find something good, I'll share it with you.
I mean, and I follow the directions. Like I found something on like how to, but I am more of a visual, like show me.
Right. Yes.
And it ended up like cutting all the front half of it all up.
Yeah. Well, it is 9:30, but I'm going to continue. So I understand if you have to leave, but I'm going to continue. I don't have a whole lot left, but feel free if you need to leave. The rest of this will be recorded and it will be on that website. So I pretty much answered most questions about Screencastify that you guys had. So I'm going to just keep going with the last one. And this one, I literally tried it one time. So this is the one that I went to YouTube and I found 2 awesome videos that I think if you guys want to use QuickTime, I don't know if there are many people who use this. This is actually a program. It's actually on your Mac computer. If I right click on the little rocket ship on the launch pad, it's actually QuickTime Player. It's already on your computer. So I do that, and then once the player's open, you just follow the directions on this video. So you record. There is a way to have little video of you plus your screencast. I will tell you, at the beginning, I was having a lot of issues with Screencastify, I think because everybody was trying, everybody in Ohio and everywhere was home and using it all. And I could not, for the life of me, it would take forever, like hours to process. And I was like, oh my God, I can't do this every day. So Ben Wagner actually said, try QuickTime. It was so much faster. So, I mean, if you're having uploading videos, like problems doing that where it's taking forever to like process your video, maybe try QuickTime, because it was really fast because it's not doing it on the internet. You know what I mean? It's doing it on your computer. So it doesn't need to process on the internet. And then you can upload that video. It will save it as a .mov, which is just another video type. You can upload it to YouTube, you can upload it to Google Drive and do all the same things that I've talked about today. So I did find I was using it for like a second when everything was just, I just couldn't get them to go. And I think that was literally like the first or second week that we were home. And I think everybody was just trying to record videos. And so it was overwhelmed. So I did like it for that. The sound is really good, I will say, when you record with QuickTime. You do have to do a little special finagling if you want your .cam or your screen share to be together at the same time. So that was my only thing. If you want to record your .cam or yourself, you have to go to start recording a new movie. If you want to record your screen, you have to start a new screencast. So I didn't know that. I didn't even think you could do that. But this guy, he's very entertaining and very helpful. So both videos are there for you on QuickTime. So again, you have to start the movie recording before you start your screencast if you want to have yourself in the video. So that's important. But he goes over that in there. And instead of yourself, if you wanted to have, it is kind of cool, you could have the .cam and you can make it whatever size you want that video. You could even have like the .cam and then like your screen on one side if you wanted to show both. So there is that. I know that was like super speed round of QuickTime, but basically once you record, it does all the same things that I've already talked about. Any questions about QuickTime or any of the other recording tools that we've talked about? I'm gonna unmute you guys real quick here. Any other questions that you guys could think of, or maybe things you've tried that haven't quite worked out?
Will you do another one of these later? Like, I feel like at this point, I'd like to maybe practice or.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing another one at 1:30 today, so I don't know if that's enough time for you to practice. I'm doing the same session at 1:30 today. But I do want to do more this summer. I'm just not sure what, because I feel like I want to tailor it more to like what we're going to be doing. And I don't know. I'm so nervous that we're not gonna go back to school like at the beginning. So I don't know. Who knows? Because I've heard all sorts of things around. Like I've been in a lot of Zooms with different leaders of different schools, and like I don't know, some are talking about crazy options, you know, like a hybrid kind of thing where we do some days at school, some days at home, where you have half of your class one day and then half of your class the next day. I don't even know. It's so crazy. So I think once we know more of like maybe how we're going to be functioning in the fall, then I'll offer, I'm thinking like in July and August for sure, offering some stuff. We'll just do it this way just to make it easy. And then I'll probably tailor it a little bit more. And you know, if you guys are looking for specific things, just email me, and you know, if I get enough interest, we could for sure do a session on something else. But I mean, I could do like a whole hour or two on like one of these probably.
Mhm.
So I just thought I'd kind of show you the differences between all of them, and just kind of let you guys choose what works best for you guys. I do, like I said, I have this website that I created. So this is the slideshow that I shared with you guys today. You can go to it and look back at it at your own pace. And then right here, as soon as we're done, I'm going to upload the recording of this, and you can go back through and watch it as well. So good question. Kristen asked about the Luminate refresher. Would that be something you guys would want to do this summer? Like just go over.
I still clunk
Luminate?
around there trying to figure out
I
what
know.
I'm looking for.
Well, I
so-
feel like like when I was like helping people learn how to use it, I was like, oh yeah, got it. And like now that I use it, but not like daily or anything. So it's like I forget, you know, what's what. So yeah, I could definitely do one of those for sure this summer. I'm gonna write that down so I remember.
Thank you.
Especially like that feature you guys told me about on Thursday, where it scrambles the questions.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't